Hello. Hi, Sally. How are you this evening? Get this where I can see my chat. All right. How are you doing, Sally? Hi, Kimberly. There's Paula. We were over in Mrs. G's live, so I had to hop over here. There's Mike. Hi, Mike. You staying warm? It's supposed to really get cold where you're at. It's supposed to get cold here. We're supposed to have freezing rain and possibly 6 inches of snow. So I don't know. We get the freezing rain like they're predicting. It causes power outage. So I saw that Mike has over 700 subscribers. Congratulations. Just a matter of time. Yep. I need 38 and I'll have 1,000. 38 subscribers. Now, I need a bunch of watch time hours, but I have 2,400 watch time hours. Everyone's saying hello to everybody. And hello, Debbie Sue. How are you this evening? I'm kind of tired tonight. I don't know if it's the cold weather. Hey, it's Deb from Deb Loves Crafts. I just met her in Ms. G's live. That's great. There's Sandra. She says, hi, Rhonda. Miss Maureen told me to tell you we are doing a practice live tonight. So if I fall off, I have jumped over with her. Happy hump day. Hi, everyone. It's always good to see you all. It's great to have you here, Sandra. How are you doing? So is that Memories and Maureen? What is her channel? Memories and Must-Haves? I think is her channel. So everyone say hello to Deb. She's kind of new to us. Met her at Mrs. G's live just a few minutes ago, and here she is now. So glad to have you. So what's everybody been up to? Thought we would just chat about what we've been doing. We're 3 weeks into the new year, and we've passed Quitter's Day, so we should all be good. We passed that. Oh goodness, I'm like Tracy. I get on my live and I got a burp or something. Sandra says, yes, ma'am, I'm well. Yes, memories and must-haves. I, Sally, Paula, Debbie, and whoever else is here. She's saying hi to everybody. Sally said hi to Kimberly. Oh, Paula, you've been bouncing on your new rebounder. I saw I guess it was the first video you did with your rebounder. I have been busy and I'm tired tonight. I'm just going to admit it. I don't know. Guess I'm feeling my age since I've gotten so old since the last time I was here on a Wednesday night. I think I would like to check into one of them rebounders, but I'm gonna have to wait till earlier today. I had a break at work. There's Cheryl. She can tell us all about rebounding. Yeah. Paula said Rhonda and I were too tired for a crown war tonight. That's pretty tired, isn't it? Because all we got to do is type to get that. But I don't know. I got up tired this morning. I was in Sally's live and I was just too tired to type. And it took a whole cup of coffee to kind of get going this morning. But yeah. So, but just kind of thought we'd talk about what everybody's been up to, how their first few weeks of the year's going. And, I was in Dora's live earlier today on a break, and she was talking about going to Bali. And I told her, I said, I'm going to put in, instead of buy me a coffee, I'm going to put in, buy me an airplane ticket to Bali in my description. Hi, Yvonne. How are you doing? Man, I haven't. I'm behind on watching YouTube stuff. I was really um, busy. What I did was, I had um, a series plan, and I did the first one, and I posted it Monday. Was that Monday? And on Tuesday I recorded the other three videos. So I have batched videos, and I've done a few of those, but not like that, where I batched them, edited them, got it all ready. They're ready to go. I'm so proud of myself. I'll be scrambling, you know, uh, here in a couple of weeks trying to get videos. I thought, well, if I could keep on this roll and keep ahead, but it's maybe that's why I'm tired. Deb said, Paula, I will pop into your channel to view. So Sandra's saying hi to Mike. They're saying hi to Yvonne. So yes, so that's kind of what I've been doing, really focusing on doing series. I did a series on loneliness. And of course, in the summer, I did a series on fear. And so I'm doing a series on, it's really about change, but it's about pushing through your comfort zone and, stepping out of that and um, doing some changes in your life. So that's what those are about. And um, there's 3 more videos in that series. And so I was really proud of myself for doing that. I haven't ever batched videos. I've had a couple in the queue, but usually there's 1 or 2, one I don't like, and I've ended up having to use them in a pinch, but never really like that to where it was, I did one outside. I like doing videos outside, but my dogs bark out there. And so there's a really cute part in the background. They're wrestling and everything, but then they started barking, and so I had to pause and edit that part out. And so it was, so the other 2 I just did in my office, but I moved my computer to a different background, trying to, like they say, do some different, stuff, so I'm just trying to do some different stuff, get out of my comfort zone and do exactly what I say in my videos. So I do try to practice what I preach. That was one of the first things I think I learned about making videos to influence or inspire people, was that what I was talking about, I had to be sure that I was doing that. And so that was one of the things that I make sure that, if I'm telling other people to step outside their comfort zone, then, that's some of what I need to be doing. And so anyway, that's in coaching or on the online stuff. And of course, a lot of my stuff's about talking from my experience, not so much my education or my clinical background. It's my personal experience with this stuff. Oh, Kimberly's back. What's the topic, please and thank you? Just kind of wanted to for y'all to kind of talk about, uh, kicking off the first part of the year. We're 3 weeks in, 21 days in. We've passed quitter day, which most people quit, 19 days into starting something new, and we've passed that day. So, just kind of from y'all, what are y'all doing? What are your, intentions for the rest of the month? We've got another week and a half, and January will be gone. Oh, I can't, that is one thing about being older. Time just goes way too fast. Just, you know, my husband was telling me he needed a haircut. He said, it just seems like I got one. And I said, I think it's been longer than what you think. The older you get, the faster the time goes. And so we figured it out. It had been 4 weeks. So Paula says, I'm doing my 30-day no dessert challenge. And the last I heard, you were doing really well. You went to the store and you passed up all of those candy bars and all of that stuff. Sandra said, didn't it go fast already? It has. Is that Michelle? Hello, Michelle. How are you? We're talking about how, the first 3 weeks of our January has gone, and, what's maybe your intentions for the year, or what's going good, or so. Michelle says hello to everyone in the chat. So y'all say hello to Michelle. Oh, Nita Mae's here. Hey, how are you? RJ. I don't remember you either. I do work 2 days a week doing counseling, and I do some online counseling. I've mostly kind of got into coaching. I like it better. And hey, Mrs. G made it. So anyway, it counseling's or coaching's different than counseling. It's kind of like, the coach of a team. It directs them, and it helps people go from where they are to where they want to be. It's more like, I equate it to brief therapy, to where you focus more on the solution and goal setting and getting to where they want to be. Therapy sometimes involves digging up old stuff. Sometimes with coaching, you can, me being a therapist, I can say, hey, do you think that maybe this is why you're doing this, or whatever, if I know their backgrounds. So Sally's asking, RJ, are you Tracy's daughter? They're saying hello to is Michelle. It's M-A, Michelle, but spelled with an A. I used to have a girl that worked in my salon, and my nail tech's name was Michelle, and she was hickier sounding than me. And she would say, Michelle. So that's how I want to pronounce your name. So if I pop out with that, I apologize now. Oh, Mrs. G said, thanks for joining my live, ladies. Sure. I just hopped on to see kind of what was going on and saw you were live. So that she says, it's okay. I understand. Paula, she's already stolen the number one crown. Judith's here. Hi, Judith. Have you cut on your hair anymore? I watched your haircut video. I have to tell you, I've talked about this before on my lives. Is RJ's a guy, so we got Mike and RJ in the house. So you ladies, y'all behave. But I somebody told me about this guy that had watches TikTok people cutting their hair and was just it was hilarious. And of course, after I watched that, all these videos about people putting their hair in ponytails and cutting it. Were, and I don't know, I laughed that day so hard watching. I was, uh, Judith, I saw people cut their hair with everything but, a knife, kitchen scissors, you know, just it was I was like, oh my gosh. But you know what? I decided I'd try it myself, for the layers. And it works pretty good. And your hair looked good. So it kind of works. Kind of works. Judith said I didn't cut my hair again. I'm okay with what I did. LOL. Well, that's great. It makes it a lot easier. I am I've worn my hair long for quite some time because, riding motorcycles and want it, you know, long enough to braid down or put up or tie back or whatever. And, and I think I've retired my chaps and my leathers. So, yes, Judith, I know you ride a motorcycle too, but uh, my husband and I, we had a accident in our truck last year, and the seatbelt broke my sternum. And we weren't going that fast, but we hydroplaned and slung off the road and hit a tree head on. And oh, I've been on the bike once since then, and that was for a short ride over to the Harley shop and back. And I just can't get on it. I've had two friends recently that they were riding. I call it bitch, and um, they got thrown off the bike and both died. And then I have a really good friend. She's not on here tonight. I thought she'd be back. Kristen, 6 years ago, they had a wreck and she was thrown off the bike and she's paralyzed from the waist down. And so at my age, at 72, I think it's time to retire my chaps. So yeah, it cracked my sternum. So yeah. And then another friend of ours, the end of last year, somebody pulled out in front of him, and he was hurt pretty bad, but he's done pretty good. But it just seems like I don't know. I'm done. I'm done. I don't know about you, Judith, but everyone gets to this point. I mean, for different reasons, for health reasons. For a little while, I couldn't ride because I couldn't get on and off of the bike because of my hip, and then I had my hip replaced, and then I could get back on the bike. So, yeah, Paula, she says we quit riding because of the risk. I love it. We, have a beautiful bike. It's beautiful, but it's funny. Lori was talking about um, uh, decluttering, and I talk about my hoarder's closet, and I've been working on it for several years. I have all these clothes just crammed in there, and a lot of them I still wear. But I do the same thing. If Lori's still on here, is that I might need this. I might get skinny. I might. No, I might. I pulled out every bit of my Harley stuff, all of it, and piled it up on the bed. Of course, rode bikes for years. For years, and and that stuff is worth a lot of money, and so I'm going to sell it. I went through and I pulled out the stuff that I, worn a lot that I would still wear, um, and but man, I have a jacket. I bought that one. I always wanted leather Harley traditional motor jacket. And so I bought one. I've worn that thing one time. I was still working, so I could afford it. I've worn it one time. And so Michelle said, that's how I feel, not wanting to throw anything away. Yeah, Lori talked about in this video that, it's to ask yourself, why am I afraid to get rid of this? Because it's fear hanging on to it. And, I never quite looked at it like that. Um, um, the manifesting and all that stuff. I've studied all of that stuff. Matter of fact, I did a big old webinar on it one time and I recorded it. I've never put it, um, I thought about putting it on my channel, but it's about manifesting. And, she said that you're putting that vibration out every time you think, oh, I should get rid of this. And then you say, no, I might need it. It's out of fear. And that, that vibration and the frequency of fear is real low. And I want to be abundant. And I only wear a small segment of my clothes anyway. So, all right, Sandra, how long are y'all going to be on? Are you on her channel? Tell us. We'll come raid your live. So, but that's one of the things that I really wanted to get a little more serious about decluttering because, I own commercial property. And then I owned a salon for years and years and years. And, I had some of that stuff stored over there in my commercial property and I sold it. Um, I guess in April, be 3 years ago, sold my commercial property. Or is it 2 years ago? Anyway, we had all this stuff. We cleaned out. We got rid of stuff, but some of that came over. And then when my salon in October, I cleaned out my locker and my station, and I gave so much stuff away to the other stylists still working. I mean, Lori, you'd have been proud of me. I don't need that stuff. But I've got about 3 boxes of stuff out in my garage. And we finally got Christmas put up. So I am going to start working on that. And so it was Michelle. It was a great take on manifesting, and I just that putting out that frequency every time I go in there and try to clean out and think, well, I might need this. I might need this for what? If I haven't worn it in years, what do I need it for? Oh, Justin's here! Yay! You finally caught my live. Oh, how are you doing? Are you up in the middle of the night? He's in Australia. Justin's from Australia. I met him through Sally's Sunrise with Sally, and he's talked about trying to hit my live, but it's such difference in time. What was it? Deb was saying something about fabric. Okay. I have such a large quilting fabric stash that I have to restash, but can't. I don't know when. Might have been during Mel's launch thing that I was in 4 years ago. Part of in the first one was to declutter, and I had my knee surgery, so I was at home while I was doing that, and I decided to clean out my makeup. Now, I've been a hairstylist for 53 years. I've always been into makeup and fashion and all of that sort of stuff, and so I still have a bunch of makeup, but I cleaned out so much makeup. And so I've gotten to where, I'll think, oh, I'll use that today. And it's all dry. I've thrown away so much makeup. It's ridiculous. So I did clean out my some of my, I call them knickknacks and stuff like that, and have downsized quite a bit of that. So it's 11:25 in Australia. So Aussie. So where Deb, where do you live? Deb said, and your vintage Singer machines have to find new homes. Yeah. So um, it's 11:25 a.m. on Thursday. Okay. So saying hello to Debbie Sue, Justin. Sally said hi to Justin. Yeah, Paula's here, Justin. Oh, you're in Queensland. Is that where Susan is from Homestead? Anyway, I'm subscribed to her. And of course, Dora. Dora's in Brisbane. So, yeah. Oh, yep. I think so. I'm going to have to get me a map like Sally has so I can look at it. I'd love to go to Australia and New Zealand. So, Justin's asking you, Deb, what part of Queensland? I just think it's phenomenal. Here we are in a chat and all over the world. All over the world. Yeah, it's just. So they're chatting about North Queensland, chatting about where they're at in Australia. So, hi, Debbie. Kentucky Life with Debbie. Oh, you're coaching a basketball game. Are them Wildcats? You getting them lined out? Those Wildcats? Lori said, hi, folks. Wow, so many of my fave people. Yes. Oh. Justin's from Brisbane. Wow. Just ignore me for now, Debbie said. It is fantastic to talk worldwide. So, Judith said, sorry she had a call. I still ride, not as much though because of my health. Yeah. It certainly does change. So Lori said, hi, Justin. Good to see you. Why are you shushing Lori, Mike? Why are you shushing Lori? She not supposed to say anything? Y'all have a secret? Lori's laughing. All right. Okay. It's our little secret. That's not nice. Julie Jordan Scott. Hi, Rhonda. Yes. On holding a high frequency always. Yes. When I think, oh, I know the secret. I was like, well, I won't ever get to be on his live because it's when I have my live. And I was here first. How are you, Julie? So you were the last I saw, you were in Las Cruces. Yeah. I know, Mike. Maybe we should go raid his live. So he might change his time slot. Well, I picked this time. I kept wanting to do a live, and I knew I'd need to do it probably in the evenings because of my schedule. And I wanted to do it at the same time, once a week. And my husband does Bible study with his dad on Wednesday nights. So it was the perfect night. And that's the reason I picked it. And so Julie said, look at all the wonderful people here. There are, what, the 12 people? The core tribe. Yes, yes. So thank you, Julie. Thanks. I have 12 people in and 12 likes. So I'm anxiously awaiting your I saw your day one video today. I did watch Julie's video. Who else did I watch? I watched Jennifer's video. Her husband fell down the stairs and hurt his knee. He's going to have surgery. So keep them in our prayers. Yeah. So, oh, how about that? Debbie Sue, you did win a free membership to Scott's, just to let you know. Yeah, he's monetized. I'm close. Well, I'm getting close. Those watch time hours, it's going to take me just to get to the first tier of monetization. So I would like to be monetized by April, because that's when my video started that's when my channel really took off. I've had my channel in June be 3 years. And, for the first year and a half, I just would just put up a video here and there. And I didn't start YouTube to be a content creator, but it kind of gets your hooks in you. So Lori said, are you close, Rhonda? You can do this. 38 subscribers to hit 1,000, and I'm at 2,400 watch time hours. So I need the watch time hours. So Julie said, I'm driving from New Jersey to California. Thank you, Deb. You just got started, but I'm subscribed. I'm going to go. I kind of checked out your little puppy video, but I'll go back and watch some more. I'm getting close. It's, it's kind of like, it's a little surreal. I don't even, but I look at those watch time hours. They seem a little bit surmountable, but I mean, I guess I hit 2,000 watch time hours in December. And so, got, in about a month, about 500 hours, watch time hours. I had that one little mini viral video, and it's getting close to 5,000 watch time hours. Justin says, love you, Rhonda. Love you, Rhonda. So, Lady Rhonda. Thank you, Justin. So, and it's summertime there. Yeah, it's supposed to get down in the single digits, and I don't want to hear it, Mike. I know. But for us, anytime it gets to single digits, close to 0, it's cold here. And then the wind blows like crazy. So it's like the wind chill factor. But how cold are you? Mike, how cold are y'all supposed to get? Minus, they have a weather warning for exploding trees. Never heard of it. I mean, I've heard when it's really cold, I've heard trees creak and pop, but Judith said it's -10 here. Weather warning for -45 degrees. I can't imagine. Can't imagine. Have you ever heard of that, Mike and Lori? Exploding trees? Yvonne said we had a 10-minute blizzard today. I'll put the post on my channel. Not too many people believe me when they said there are warning us of exploding trees. Yeah, they make this huge sound. Oh, you can hear them up to a mile away, I think is what they were saying. It was just really interesting. Hey, Rooted. I don't remember you ever visiting my live. I've seen you over in, is it Mrs. G's? Oh, Lori said, I only heard of it today, never seen it. Judith said, I've never heard about exploding trees. Where do you live, Judith? We're talking about how, Rooted, we're talking about how cold it's going to be up north. And now it's going to be cold here. I'm in Texas, north central Texas. And I think it's supposed to get down to 7 degrees. You live in Canada, so y'all have been really blasted. My really good friend Carol, she lives in Canada, and she sends me all these pictures. We Marco Polo every morning and tell each other our we're accountability partners. We've become really good friends. I even went up there and met her. So you should come around more. We have fun. Everyone's kind of tired tonight, so we're a little low key for some reason, but we hadn't started talking about poop yet. So, you know, but yeah, exploding trees. I think when it gets, is it, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, -30 is when it starts happening. So, Kimberly, where do you live? I forgot. Yeah, it's summer. You know, I watch Dora. She's always talking about how hot it is. So it's gonna today, which is it's Thursday, 11:40 Thursday in the morning, and it's supposed to get to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit there today. Um, yeah, well, yeah, lightning strikes a tree, it's gonna blow up. That's for sure. I've seen many of those, but I don't know if it actually blows. It they say they make a very loud popping noise. So I don't know if they actually explode or what. So Judith said, I heard tree cracking because it was cold, but exploding? No. Nana's asking Mike if you got the blizzard today. Hello, Callum. How are you? Rooted, I'm here in Colorado, and we really haven't had snow. The weather's crazy now. Yeah, yeah. And this storm is going to dump, north of us, like in Oklahoma and Little Rock, Arkansas, and they could get over a foot of snow. So Deb says I have to get some work done. Catch you all at another time. Thank you, Rhonda. Thanks, Deb, for hopping in. Hi, Evie. How are you? So we're talking about the cold weather. You got your thermals out, Evie? Oh, Judith says we're in a snowstorm right now. So, okay. Kimberly said, I'm in Georgia, 30 miles from Florida. It's 35 degrees overnight here and 55 during the days. That's about what it is right now. But I know Friday about noon, this thing's supposed to hit. We're supposed to have about 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain, which an inch is like hazard. The power lines can't hold that much ice. So Evie said, good. I was at Walmart with the crazy last minute shoppers. Shelves are empty. Yeah, I bet. I bet they are. I stopped to get a script over at United Market Street. And there were crazy people in there lined up everywhere. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm glad bought groceries. Went Monday and bought groceries, just normal groceries. So, oh, Lori said, so when it's really, really cold, the sap freezes quickly and makes the tree snap with such fierceness it sounds like an explosion. Okay. Now, inquiring minds know what an exploding tree is now. Thank you very much, Lori. Evie said, Governor declared a state of emergency. Already? Wow. Justin said, lightning strike hitting a tree. I saw that once in the 1980s. The sound is like a pop and crack simultaneously. Yeah, and it's loud. If you've ever had lightning strike very close to you, I've had a tree in my front yard that was struck by lightning, and it is loud. So, ice. Yeah, ice. Well, your area is actually supposed to get possibly an inch of ice. And so, oh, you asked Chat GPT. So, yeah, the ice, I think that's the reason. And then we're not equipped. We don't have the equipment that y'all have up north. So, um, it was on the internet, so it's true. Bonjour. Oh, so what do you guys need to do? Well, you have to be prepared. We have, our house is all electric, but we have a wood burning fireplace. We have plenty of wood. We have two indoor small little heaters, and I have a cook stove that I can cook with, and we have a propane grill, so we can cook. And Paula is in the same line as Dallas. Wow. Are you laughing at Texas? Yeah. Mrs. G says she's still here. So we're pretty prepared, Judith. Yeah. Got some bottled water. We have a couple of areas. The big problem is if you lose your electricity, your water pipes freeze. And because you can't heat, it's hard to heat the whole house unless you have one of those fancy big generators. And so you did, Evie. That's great. That's what, Jesse and I've talked about. We need to uh, possibly invest in a generator. So, but the problem is there's no, you can run them off of propane, but there's no gas lines out here where we live. None. That's why all the houses are, and in 21, that's what happened. It got really, really cold. It didn't get above freezing for a week, almost a week, but it blanketed everything with ice, and then it snowed, and the temperatures were so cold that people had their pipes freeze. And hot hands in socks behind toilets. Paula said, we picked up gas for the generator today. Yeah. Justin said, I've seen the big red dirt palm trees with oceans out from them, but have never seen snow before. Wow. Mike said, Evie, that's good. If you have a generator, make sure you have enough gas for it. Yeah, and the problem, I know that, and there's a lot of things you don't think about, but I lived here in 79 when the tornado came through here, and it came through back off not too far from where I live now, and it took out all the power lines. And then the houses, it was a mile wide, stayed on the ground all the way through town, and, it ripped up gas lines. So they had to turn off the gas. We had no phones, no gas, no electricity. It contaminated the water. The water was off. We didn't have nothing, and there was no warning. So, I mean, we didn't have electricity, water, gas, phones for days after that. So, it's kind of detrimental when you don't have. Um, it helps keep it from freezing. So I'm going to have to make sure that my husband's hand warmers are fully charged. We didn't have last year, it got pretty cold and we didn't have anything. We had the laundry room pipe froze, but we had the door shut. So we've learned to leave the door open. And we've only been in this house 3 years. So we've learned that. So yours is propane. You have about 4 days worth. Use the ones you shake to activate. They stay warm a long time too, Evie. Yeah. That's shocking, but we don't have any of those because my husband got some rechargeable ones for Christmas this year. So I didn't buy some more of those hand warmers. He works out in the cold. So, but yeah. Oh, both of our bathrooms are on the outside wall, and then my kitchen is on the outside wall, and then that water line runs all the way down the wall to the laundry room, and that's what froze. But it wasn't that. I mean, we got it thawed out pretty quick, but um, you even a heated vest that recharges. Huh, my husband's got some riding gear that's heated. Yeah, Mike said 2 hand warmers are great. I can dress warm, but my hands and feet always get cold. Yeah, yeah. So those are some good ideas, Evie. Thanks. I'll have to, but that's, if you don't have electricity, you don't have heat. And so that's then when your pipes freeze and when they thaw out, they start bursting. It was unbelievable. Um, then you have to turn your water off. And so, you want to have some uh, water drawn up and all that sort of thing because your water freezes up. You can't flush your toilet. So, um, you know, yep. We, in 21, of course, I was the executive director of that small treatment facility. And they called me at 11:30 at night, and there was a pipe that had busted, and they couldn't figure out how to get the water turned off. So I had to get up and go up there, and we finally had to call the water company. There was water everywhere, everywhere, and we had to turn the water off. And we've got, you've got all these clients, and they got to get, so we did have a emergency reserve of water. I forget how many 5-gallon jugs we had, and that's how they flushed the toilet. So our water was turned off for 2 days till we get a plumber to come cap off that broken water pipe. So, well, Judith, do y'all have like extra insulation and stuff around your pipes and everything? We're just not used to this kind of weather. Um, anyway, so hi, Rosani. Evie said, no problem for Mike. He poops on the hitch. He sure does. Oh, goodness sakes. You have extra insulation. Yeah, because you have to. I mean, you know, when you're like whatever Celsius, ridiculously Celsius, which is, below zero, um, you have to keep the pipes from freezing. But it's the ice that we get because power lines, um, it gets to an inch of ice, they can't withstand it, so they break. And so it becomes, yeah, kind of an emergency situation. And I think that that's the thing, is they're predicting freezing rain, and that it just makes ice when it's, you know, below freezing, and everything is covered in ice. So Avie said, I think the houses are built better for cold further north. When I lived up north, smaller windows, the snow piles up and actually insulates the house. Yeah. And snow's not as dangerous as ice. Even sleet. Sleet's not that bad. It is when it's freezing rain. And it Miss G said, driving and listening to y'all talk about pipes. Oh, Jude said, Evie, yes, we are. I hate it, but I'm used to it. LOL. Nana said, I was reading that it hasn't gotten to negative 40 in the Twin Cities since the 1880s. Wow. Living Life with Judith said, we had a few freezing rain and ice rain here too, and the power lines broke under the weight of the ice. And that's where the emergency situation comes in, because people lose their electricity. And, like our house is total electric, so there's no way to heat it if you don't have some other form of heat. And our fireplace, it's a I call it old timey fireplace with burning wood in it. It really does warm that part of the house, and so anyway, it's kind of scary. I just have to. I do know that in 21, when it was so bad here, this area did not lose electricity. Have you said it is worse for the old and the babies? Right. Yeah. And I have, since I have, a hip replacement and knee replacement, I have metal in my leg. Sometimes it gets cold and it's so hard to get it warm. So Justin said, hey, Core Tribe peeps and Lady Rhonda, I'm having problems with the Wi-Fi freezing up. Plus, it's almost midday lunchtime here. I might sign out for now. Just know I love you all. Okay, till next time. All right, Justin, you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for popping in. Abby said, mostly the old that live alone with no one to help. Yeah, and if they lose electricity, I can't remember if it seems like we had during that time in 21, there were a couple people died. So, because it got really, really cold and stayed cold for several days. I think that the really cold weather will be Saturday night, Sunday night, and into Monday. Then Tuesday, it'll all melt and be gone. So, But the biggest threat will be Friday night and Saturday because of the freezing rain. And so, and it being that cold, it won't melt off the power lines. Evie said in 2021, my dad lived by himself at 84 with no power for 5 days. Yeah. Yeah. That's, we have several, I don't know how much propane we would have. We have 2 big tanks and some 8 little ones for our heaters. So, yeah, it's kind of scary. Yvonne said, that sounds scary. Do you mind saying a prayer? I do not, Miss Yvonne. It's, we all need to pray that God will protect us. So, Paula said, my 82-year-old brother-in-law lives alone, hoping he does not lose power when the storm hits. Father God, I pray that you would watch over us and protect us. I ask these things in Jesus' name, that you would keep people safe, that they would get help if they need it, and just pray that we can stay warm, be with the crews as they work the streets, and the linemen that will have to be out in this. Amen. All right. So we can all pray. We can all, because there's a lot of us here. And when 2 or more are gathered, there's more power in that. And so, and know that God will watch over us and protect us. Yeah, I truly believe that. And so, and if I can be of service, always pray every day that God would use me to be of maximum service to Him and to my fellows every day. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. So Mike said, Yvonne and I can use prayers over our city. This weekend's going to be a mess. There's a massive protest happening Saturday. People are coming up from all over the U.S. just for this. Oh, Mike. The National Guard is gathered all over the city. Yeah. There's a lot of, it just seems to be a lot of hate. And people are hurting and they're scared. And that's when they act like this. So, yes, Lori says, yes, Mike, please stay away from it. Simply Debbie Sue said, some people I know here are being sent there. Eddie said, Mike, I was at one of your lives, but I don't think you saw me comment. Yeah. Mike said they're bringing troops down from Alaska because they are trained to deal with the cold. It is crazy. Yvonne said, right where Mike and I are at. Yes. Judith said, Rhonda, friends, I wish all of you a good night of rest. You'll be in my thoughts. Hopefully it will just pass by without too much damage. Thank you, Judith. Yeah, it's been an hour. I like to shut this off at an hour. And lots of prayers for our country and our leaders, and for those people that feel the need to riot and protest. Rosani said, sending warm hugs and hope to everyone. Evie said, good night, everyone. So everyone have a good evening. We'll pray for you all. You're in my heart. I love you. Let's see if I can do a Mrs. G. I'm not real good at this. Mrs. G heart. See, look, Mrs. G, my heart. Me. Oh, it's Catherine. Hello, everyone, from a state of emergency here in our region this morning. As I was live, a massive landslide happened at a local campground, and a number of people, including children, are missing. Oh, Catherine, we'll pray for that. That's yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Just everyone pray. Thank you, all of you, my great community. I love you. And just stay warm, stay safe, and pray a lot. Y'all have a good evening.